I made a video a couple of hours ago, and I was extremely upset, which I think shows on the video. Probably not a terribly good idea, but it did explain, I hope, the way it was. The other thing that occurred to me was, I didn't know that Robin Stoddart died in 1996. Even if it hit the local paper, the local Echo, I didn't read the Echo. And I was ill anyway in January 1996, and had been for the previous 10 months. So I wouldn't have been interested in reading the Echo. But I don't actually think it was covered. The first I knew that Robin Stoddart was dead was when I found his death entry. And that has to have been after August 2010. Because that was when I found Fiona's inquest notes. Until then, I had actually forgotten his name. He was a man I met once. I met him at the inquest. Perhaps his name should have been emblazoned on my memory, but it wasn't. It was only when I started comparing the inquest notes of Fiona with the inquest notes of my half-sister Karen that the name Robin Stoddart lodged in my mind and has stayed there ever since. And then I began to look for all of the people mentioned at both of the inquests and find out everything that I could about them all. So somewhere between August 2010 and about a year later, I should have a look at the date when I actually... No, the date that I got his death certificate wouldn't... I think that was in 2013. I think I found his death entry in 2011, and all I knew then was that he was dead. When I was in Southampton in May 2013, yes, that was when I got his death certificate. And of course, what that told me was that he had died of a stab wound to the thigh, and that he'd bled to death. It didn't tell me who killed him. I didn't know that until, I think, less than a year ago. And Googling his name, as I do from time to time, to find out, there is always something new, strangely. I googled his name, and up came Samuel McKinley's two sons, who I think were living in Eastleigh, Southampton, who had just murdered a Muslim newsagent. And in that article it mentioned that their father, Samuel McKinley, was doing life in prison for having murdered a man named Robin Stoddart in Southampton in 1996. That was the first time I knew who killed Robin Stoddart. And I think that's less than a year ago that I read that article. So I am still finding out things I didn't know before. Which does make life difficult because life is getting shorter. Just a bit more about the way that the length of time it's taken me to gather all this information.